Right, we will get to it in just a second. Right, okay, so I'm just going to double check, can everyone actually hear me this time round, and is the quality of the stream alright? So if you just let me know in the comments, that'll be amazing, so that we can actually get this finally started and finished. Alright, perfect. So, by all means, I mean, the quality might go downhill. The connection over on this side of the UK isn't exactly amazing. So, I do apologise for that. We'll try and get something resolved for next week's stream. So, you'll kind of be able to gauge anyway from the previous posts. So we'll kind of go from there. Again, obviously, I can see the comments coming in on the quality. There isn't much that I can do. The Wi-Fi isn't the best, so it's just the location. And yeah, there's not many solutions. So, but we'll try and find a solution for next week. So let's just kind of go straight into it. Sorry. We'll go straight into the economic calendar. There's a lot of economic data coming out this week. Important economic data. Obviously, it's the first month of the year, so there's kind of a lot of data points that kind of need to be touched going forward. So just kind of take a quick scan. So obviously we're on the 10th today. So tomorrow is kind of when everything gets kind of kick-started. So as you can see, we got Fed Chair Powell testimony. And that's coming in at 2:30 tomorrow. So in terms of that, we're gonna obviously get a bit more information on the US economy in general. So inflation, all sort of the points that we kind of really do want to know moving forward. kind of, well, fingers crossed, taking away some of that doubt that we have in sort of one, the US economy, and two, kind of the global impact that sort of post-pandemic is having on the world. So obviously we got the tapering, and then from the last Federal Reserve's kind of speech, or Jerome Powell's speech. There were talks about obviously having the interest rate hikes, and they kind of said that there'll be potentially 3 interest rate hikes moving forward. One thing that I just wanted to touch on, so obviously over onto Bloomberg, again, I would highly recommend kind of subscribing to Bloomberg. They are by far the best news outlet out there, so definitely 100% recommend using them. It's what we use, and it's what we send 99% of the articles into our news channel. But anyway, you we don't need to read through the whole article, but just have a look at the heading. So Goldman now expects 4 Fed rate hikes, sees faster runoff in 2022. So again, hopefully we kind of get a bit more clearance going into this speech tomorrow, 2:30 UK time. But this is what's kind of causing a lot of doubts and kind of low confidence in the market as we move forward. So obviously we got that important event coming in tomorrow. Obviously over on the Asia side of the world, as you can see, we got China's inflation rate year on year and month on month, PPI as well. So all of these are important sort of data points that we will need to keep an eye on, and will potentially bring volatility to the market in our Asian session. So that's on the 12th, so that is Wednesday. If we carry on scrolling down, I mean, obviously, okay, so again, the US releasing inflation rates, sort of data points as well. So again, this will be important. We've got monthly budget statement, another very important point to kind of keep an eye on. And then again, just continuation of speeches, which will all be potentially important depending on what is said. So it's important to kind of keep an eye on. And again, another reason why we use Bloomberg is due to actually being able to watch these speeches live. So kind of able to make decisions as they come in. South Korea's interest rate decision, I mean, yeah, it could be a little bit important. I mean, in terms of obviously the crypto market, it's not exactly important to us, but obviously if you're trading traditional asset markets, something to keep an eye on. So towards the end of the week, we've got some UK data points coming out. Again, a little bit of important. We've got balance of trade coming out, GDP growth. And what else is that? Obviously, we've got manufacturing and the trade balance on non-EU goods. So all of them data points are important. Again, so this is another very important speech. Obviously, we've got Christine Lagarde's speech coming in on, what day are we on? So the 14th, what's that, Thursday? So that is very, very important. I mean, the EU are taking a different stance on tackling this sort of balance, or kind of the fiscal policy that was put in place kind of come out of the pandemic. America kind of took a bit more of a rigorous kind of stance on things and spent a lot more money. So it's going to be interesting to see how kind of each part of the world kind of comes out. The EU will take in a little bit of a different stance. So over in the financial crisis, obviously America kind of took the stance on spending a lot more money and putting more money into the economy, whereas the EU decided to kind of take more of an austerity sort of measures, which actually wasn't the best decision. As we are still as European Union are still feeling the impact of the financial crisis and not spending enough money to kind of boost the economy. So we'll see what happens in these speeches. Obviously, we'll keep our premium VIP members updated on the speech. We'll send in a link as the speech comes out. So all you simply have to do is obviously click on the link and go from there. Apart from that, there isn't much else. Obviously, we've got a little bit more China data points coming out. I think this is on the weekend. But yeah, that's about it. They are very important bits of talks. So just make sure we're kind of staying intact with that. So we'll go over to the TA. So obviously that's kind of the economic calendar outlook for the week, which is quite important. I mean, obviously it's the first month of the year, like we said at the start. So it's kind of trying to set the scene for the quarter. Right, so TA. We've obviously sent out this chart last week, and what an amazing call. It's kind of being a little bit sluggish on this spring. We were expecting a bit more of a bounce, but things are slowing down. Obviously, going into the start of the week, things are kind of pulling back a little bit. Obviously, as you can see, Bitcoin is consolidating in this range just here. So we want now sort of buy volume to kind of start ticking up here. So obviously you can see that sell side volume has definitely fallen down, which is a good sign. Sellers are weakening. However, we're not seeing enough buy side strength, so we will need to see some more buy side strength to kind of confirm this as the very bottom and the spring. But as things stand right now, they are looking good. So what we're looking for next, obviously tick up in volume. That will take us past this moving average, this 50 moving average on the 4 hour, and taking us back above this trend line just here. Once price kind of comes up into this sort of area, so if we just place that order block just there, right? Wait a second, let me just go back and mess something up. Okay. Place this as our order block so we can actually get rid of all of this sort of stuff here, as price already came back up and caught some of that liquidity just there. So again, price coming up here, increase in buy side volume to kind of give us confirmation that buy side's taking control and we've got momentum on our side. As prices kind of come up to this sort of range over here, so we have got quite a lot of volume over on this side, kind of staggered. So as price will come up, we'll see how it reacts at each of these sort of points before kind of coming back down, testing hopefully this trend line here as new support, and then that will be our perfect entry. So that is what you call a test on the Wyckoff schematic theory. if we're able to get that perfect sort of test here, where we see a nice rejected candle with a nice little wick on the bottom, that'll be our entry to go long for the foreseeable future. And then we'll kind of get a nice little push up here, which will take the rest of the market up with it to our next sort of point or next phase on the Wyckoff, which is the phase D phase. And then obviously we've got kind of have this point just over here, which is the last point of support. So that's kind of what we're looking for and expecting. Fingers crossed that we follow through with the plan. I would like to say prices aren't going to come down lower, but again, it is crypto and anything can really happen. So we are at nice sort of support here. As you can see, this is a key sort of level just here, but prices are pulling down a little bit. So I mean, on the daily, we are still looking extremely bearish. That those two green candles just there are extremely weak. So we could see a little bit more of a peg down, trying to capture some more liquidity. We kind of realistically want to see a nice sort of push down, finding good enough support and making a push up higher again. Giving us sort of that indication that it's strong support. As things stand right now, we're not seeing those signs of strong support. So we could actually see a tap all the way down to just below $40,000, which again, so goes past our selling climax back here, and giving us sort of a range where there's a bit more liquidity to be captured to kind of give us that nice support touch. As you can see here, we got this spike just here on our VPVR. So there could be, well, there is a good amount of sort of orders just down here. So we could see sort of that test, that strong test of support just there. So that's kind of in terms of Bitcoin. We'll move on and touch on total crypto market cap quickly. Let's get it up. So similar pattern as to what we were getting on Bitcoin. However, we are well below the 200 moving average on the daily. A lot of investment has come out of the crypto market. However, we are seeing little bits of sign that some investments being reintroduced, which is great. This is obviously, it's found, so well, the market cap chart has found some good support just here at this sort of key level where prices broke out, come back down and held support for a while. So we're kind of getting that happen again just here. So we could see market cap fall a little bit more and just tap a tiny little bit just below this level here, tapping into liquidity to give us that boost up and reintroduction of buy orders to take things up higher. But again, as you can see just down here, we are seeing very little buy side volume coming into the market, a lot more sell side. So things aren't looking like they're strengthening, especially as you can see, we've gone down to the 4-hour chart and volumes actually tailing off as we are sort of consolidating. A little bit of accumulation right here, as you can see, but obviously clearly not enough to boost up this buy side volume to take us up higher. So that's kind of it for total crypto market cap. Just keep an eye out for prices as they kind of come down here. This is the most important chart to kind of keep an eye on in terms of gauging where the market is going to go. As Bitcoin dominance has fallen down a good amount, it has recovered slightly, as you can see just here, as it's sort of staggered its way down. So as you can see, we are actually falling down and making lower lows just here. So we're not at all-time lows, however, it's pushing up now, so it's going to find some resistance at some point at one of these order blocks, and we will put them in for you just now. So let's get rid of them too. So that is your next order block, and it's more than likely to find resistance there and actually come down lower. If not, then we'll find resistance somewhere in this order block just here, and then after that everything else has been taken. We'll leave that one there. So after that, could push up somewhere in this region over here, but I don't imagine it making a huge push up. I mean, we have tapped into a little bit of liquidity there. As you can see, volume has increased. However, still looking extremely bearish. So we could actually just see a fall straight down towards these all-time lows just down here. So if we just let me go. Here we go. Oh no, that's extended. Just there. So 35.5% of the market roughly. That's where things are looking likely to go. Tap in some more liquidity before actually making a push up higher and seeing those institutions really start getting back into the game. So that's Bitcoin dominance, total crypto market cap chart, and Bitcoin chart all done. In terms of obviously the dollar, we actually got a little bit of consolidation over in this range just here. A little bit of a tap just beneath. Obviously, we kind of had a little bit more of a sort of range just here, but kind of stuck into this tighter range there, tapping into some liquidity, tapping into this 50 moving average on the daily and making a push up back into that range. Again, testing that 50 moving average, but looking very much likely to continue coming down. Obviously, we got all of these data points or US data points coming out this week. So things will probably be a little bit sluggish in terms of the dollar until we get these data points coming out. Obviously, all these traders that are trading dollar index or just trading in general are holding off until the speech is complete and they can kind of gauge a little bit more, look a little bit more into the future. There's got to be a little bit more clarity as to these rate hikes. So I presume we will get a touch on that as we go into the speech tomorrow. So things are going to be sluggish, as I've said. Once that speech is kind of over and done with, then things will start getting a little bit more volatile. So after Tuesday is going to be a good point or a good time to actually look at some decent trades, as volume should introduce itself back into the market. Right. So we actually shortlisted some crypto this morning, looking at kind of what looks good for this week. Obviously, we're not going to show you the whole shortlist, as we are literally showing you everything that we're looking for in terms of what we're planning on entering and sending into the premium channel. So that would be unfair for those that have actually paid for the premium service. So we have shortlisted on the shortlist as things stand right now. So we've got 4 coins, and we will just do a quick TA on them and go from there really. So THETA, one of the metaverse coins, extremely volatile. Sometimes it really does pump really quite crazy. So it's one of them that, as you can see, it's at a very key point on this chart. So we've got this order block back here. Kind of zoom in a bit more for you guys. This order block just here, right, where prices actually came all the way down and perfectly tapped into it, pushing us all the way down. So one selling climax. What was quite interesting about this chart is obviously we spoke about the Wyckoff theory not long ago. It was almost on a smaller time frame than this, but this is quite interesting as it's very, very similar to what is happening on THETA. So we've kind of had this sort of range, and then we've got this lower bound range. So selling climax. We got our AR just here, tapping to the top of the range, coming back down on secondary test. That's phase 1 done, right? So then we got our up thrust, tapping back up to the top, secondary test again, and then we actually got this break just below here. So it's not perfect, however, it's quite interesting as to what is happening. It's kind of almost very similar. Spring happening somewhere in this phase over here, so we could actually see prices kind of tap back into this sort of order block here, as it hasn't actually tapped into it apart from this time back here. So once it comes down here, that could be a very, very good entry to go long. After that, as you can see, sell side volume has actually tailed off from this high over here. So sell side is weakening. We had this spike up here. This is actually a good indication that institutions are getting in, or smart money is getting into the market right there. So as prices kind of come down, we should see some reaccumulation from that smart money to push things back up. As you can see right now, just in this period here, we got an accumulation sort of period as it's coming down here. So some people are stacking up on THETA. In terms of sort of resistance and price levels to look for, if that entry or that perfect entry does present itself just there, going down to the 4 hour. So prices come down. Let's say you put a little bit of an order just somewhere around this region, or somewhere around this order block just here. Prices push up, right? That's when you want to put your fib level or tool just here, and then you want to be looking for sort of test around the 382.5 and 618. So again, you can stagger your entries along those Fibonacci levels, and then place in your stop loss somewhere around 786, or if you kind of want to give it a little bit more room, placing it right below your first entry. So that's kind of your next steps in terms of looking at it. It's going to take a little bit of time to actually materialize. So if it comes sooner rather than later, just go for these two highs here as your next take profits. However, you should actually be holding these positions for a little bit longer, as these are coming to very key support levels. So once they do find good support, the likelihood of them actually just tracing, continuing to trace up for a good period of time is likely. So the way you should be tackling these trades realistically, obviously it does depend on the type of trader that you are and kind of what length of time that you trade within. You should kind of be looking for a little bit more medium term. So buying those dips as price kind of trickles up. So that's Theta that we were looking at. So we got Avalanche as well, a lot of potential, good fundamentals or great fundamentals, and it's got a lot of hype. Finding or at support again at a key level just here. Let me just extend a little bit more. Nice order block that has already been tapped into twice and is currently being tapped into right now, or just above. So finding some sensitivity at the 100 moving average, just tracing a little bit below. However, could very easily see a quick turnaround. Sell side volume is extremely weak on this second move down, whilst we saw an actual strengthening of buy side on this move up. So another great sort of entry opportunity right here. So we're just going to place this next support order block just below. As you can see, it is actually lying quite perfectly with the 200 moving average on the daily. So plenty of support at that level. So again, the way you should really be tackling these trades moving forward is to stagger them. If you're not staggering, then you should realistically just be in those trades for a very short period of time, as there's a lot of levels that prices kind of need to go and retest and confirm as strong levels before they can actually make these very strong moves with a lot of momentum. So there's going to be a lot of kind of choppiness in the market as we move forward until correct sort of and proper structure is kind of set in the market to kind of make a very strong definitive move on the direction that it wants to go in. So that's how you should be tackling it. In terms of next sort of resistance points, we've got this level just here, right, where prices are already kind of rejected and pushing down lower. You could even actually pull a fib from top to bottom here, and potentially find an entry here, depending obviously on the strengthening and weakening of buy and sell side volume. But all in all, so we'll move over to FCM, but all in all, you kind of do want to be keeping an eye into the total crypto market cap as well as Bitcoin. Those are the important charts. Obviously, you got the dollar index, which is also important, depending on sort of what's happening in terms of interest rate hikes and inflation rates, and how the US is actually tackling that. So FTM saw crazy sort of push up higher, increase in volume, which is fantastic. Finding support at this 100 moving average, again, great. So hopefully prices can kind of stick. So if you can actually see, we've got this sort of formation being formed. Obviously prices have now come back down, but they're testing this level. So a good way of actually sort of looking at this is by going on your line chart, right, which helps with kind of looking at these sort of levels. Price can kind of stick to this level over here. So what we want ideally is price to stick where it's right at now, potentially a little bit further down, tapping into liquidity, but we want to be seeing those candles with those wicks on the bottom side, giving us the indication that buyers are coming in strong and fast and want to continue pushing this asset up, or FTM prices up. Going back on the candles, so moving average is just setting or just below. Again, we could even see a little bit of a test at this pivot point, but again, we will want to see sort of that rejectment candle with the wick on the bottom, and then also we want to see the volume support on that side. So we want to see volume increasing, giving us the indication that there's increase in order flows at that range. Also basically indicating to us that there's interest to traders kind of getting in at that level. So that's what we'll be looking at on FTM. It is kind of primed to make its new all-time high. So this is one to really keep an eye on, because it's set to really like explode. So yeah, you can see, let's have a little look. Yeah, you can realistically, within this first quarter, you could probably see FTM go up 100% spot percent move. So yeah, it's one to keep an eye on, guys. But again, that is kind of the scenario that you want to look. If prices do tend to break these moving averages and come down, then it's going to take a bit longer for it to materialize and make those moves to all-time highs. Again, so we got our order block just at the 200 moving average. So if prices do come down, that is kind of ideally where you kind of want to get the best entry. However, you could find an entry just here. Again, so if we go on our line chart, just tapping into this sort of order block just here as prices kind of came down, pushed back up. So there was order flows just here. So that could be a new setting of support down here if prices do break these moving averages. So again, just like we said, stagger the entries. If you're not staggering the entries and you're getting in at one price point, you definitely want to be holding them for quite short periods of time. As soon as you see kind of momentum tailing off, that should be your time to call it a day, if you are obviously trading on a shorter time frame. So last but not least, we got Link. We tried to tackle it for a second time, or was it third time yesterday. Unfortunately, we got caught out, but we kept our stop losses extremely tight, so it was one of them really. We did actually make some profit on Link. I think it was on Saturday. So made profit, lost profit, so one of them. It's kind of difficult when you're trading on a weekend. Sometimes you see, or especially, let's say on a Sunday trading session, things do tend to set up really nicely. However, you don't really see that huge amount of volume and momentum coming into the market a lot of the time. So things do tend to kind of tail off and fall. However, actually going back to Link itself, this volume here is insane amount of volume. That is smart money in the market. They are very well positioned in that move and push the market up. They have been accumulating for quite some time. So as you can see, Again, we've got our range. What does that look like? Very similar to what we've just seen. Again, they've been accumulating and distributing orders for a long time now. It is priming up for a very large move. So all we're waiting for is sort of strong support and then a continuation in the follow through of volume. So yeah. So in the bigger picture, there's a smaller one just here. Selling climax coming back up again, guys. Range in, broke out of the range. Now pushing up higher. So in terms of smaller order blocks, so let's kind of go down to the 4 hour just here. You can even see, so they're trying to get as much liquidity before making a huge move up. So obviously we've got a nice bullish triangle just here. Sort of a little bit of a tap. Again, could be a little bit of a bull trap right there, gaining some liquidity, cutting some of them people out. Or shall I say, cutting some of these shorts out. But again, sort of bull trapping as people kind of get along, just like us. We got tapped out. So as prices pushed up, cut out anyone that was in short in this position. And now obviously seeing this nice red candle coming down, cutting out some of these long positions now. So again, gaining liquidity, as you can see here, accumulating orders just here, guys. So see how it goes. We could see a nice potential entry somewhere around this region. But it's one to kind of keep an eye out for, as the amount of volume that has come in is actually just insane. So yeah. So in terms of obviously once price actually pushes back up, you just kind of want to look at these key levels over here. So obviously this is a nice level just here, just below $35, which in itself, to get a trade from there is 30% spot move, 20 times leverage. You're getting was it 600%? Am I right? And then you've got this huge order block here, kind of got some more staggered volume at this level here. So again, kind of want to stagger some TPs at this level, and then just leave some of the position open for it to just run up to new all-time highs. But yeah, that is it from us anyway. That's the outlook for the week again. So probably just try and hold off on trading for today. We've got a trade open, so for those that are in this live stream, not that there's many, but hold off. We've got we've got a trade open, so we'll leave that one in. We thought about showing it, but that one is looking very good. It's at a very key level, finding some introduction of volume, so that one could be a very good trade if it materializes as we kind of go deeper into the week. But yeah, that's it from us. If you guys got any questions, I'll kind of stay online for a little bit, so ask any questions if you do have questions. If not, then we can shut it off here and get on with the rest of the week. Also, just a quick question. Has everyone actually found this live stream useful? I know, I mean, we're at 45 minutes, which is kind of more than what we kind of wanted to be at. But again, there was a decent amount of material to kind of get through. But yeah, if you can just let us know whether it was useful or not, that would be amazing. Just so we can kind of gauge whether to continue with it or not. So. All right, give it another minute for any questions to pop in. If you've got no questions, I'll be cutting this live stream off. Amazing, amazing, Lewis, amazing. Yeah, we're going to keep it going. Obviously, we're not going to stop after the first week, so we'll keep it going for this quarter, see how things are going, gauge it, and then go from there. But we did feel that a pre-market sort of live stream would be useful for people, as it is quite important. Amazing, Hader. Thank you. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Well, those that are in the chat will see you potentially today, but again, kinda hold off on trading until these speeches are out the way, and then we see a bit more increased volatility in the market. But yeah, guys, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.